Hey guys, Wyatt is 9 days old today. I did say in my last video that I'm super behind and I'm so sorry. I meant to be filming these on his 1 week birthday, which was Tuesday. Today is Thursday, but I'm trying to get these up as fast as I can. So even though he is over 1 week old today, so what he looks like, he's 9 days old, I'll only be covering the things from the first week. And I will try my best to get the 2-week update filmed on time on next Tuesday. I'll try my best. So as you know, Wyatt was born May 9th at 6:41 p.m. weighing 7 pounds 8 ounces, and he was 19¼ inches long. He was weighed again just before we left the hospital, and he was 7 pounds 7 ounces 18 hours after delivery, which is great. I'm really glad he doesn't have a lot of weight to regain. Although newborns have 10 to 14 days to get back up to their birth weight and still be perfectly healthy. He lost his umbilical cord on Tuesday when he was 1 week old. I can't remember how long it took Max to lose his umbilical cord, but I'm pretty sure it was more than 7 days. The only time Wyatt really gets upset is if he needs to be changed or is hungry, and he's super easy to calm down once he does get upset. He's such a down-to-earth baby. I really hope it stays this way. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed that in quite a few of the pictures, he's sleeping on a soft blue blanket that has wildlife on it. It's his absolute favorite place to nap. It's so funny. I have it laid out on our futon, which I have laid out flat, so it has dips all around the 4 sides. So not that he can roll over now, but I would be perfectly comfortable with running to the kitchen or something while he's on there, because he can't roll off onto the floor. And the futon is placed under our big picture window in our living room, so he just loves sleeping there on that really soft blanket in the sunshine. It's his, like I said, his favorite place to sleep. Sometimes he does like to have a blanket either wrapped around his feet or up by his head, by his face. He likes to have his arms out at all times though, but I of course only do that if I am right beside him and never overnight, because then I'll be sleeping, because blankets can be a huge suffocation risk for infants. A lot of the time he does have his hands up by his face like this, or even just his arm, because that's how he was in utero, so it's probably still really comfortable for him. Wyatt is the snuggliest baby ever. He loves being held right up on my chest and will sleep so soundly there, just listening to my breathing and my heart rate. But he doesn't protest being put down either if I need to put him down, even if he's awake. So if he's asleep, he stays asleep. If he's awake, he doesn't fuss if I lay him down, which I am so thankful for. Max went through a stage where he would only sleep if you were holding him and walking around, which means whoever was taking care of him, whether me or Jeremy, or maybe if my mom was coming to help, nobody ever got any sleep. It was horrible. So I'm super happy that Wyatt will comfortably snuggle me when I want some baby snuggles, but then if I have dishes or need to cook supper, he is perfectly content being laid out on a blanket or set down in his swing or his bouncer, anything like that. Wyatt is most alert in the evenings, and he'll be awake for a little over an hour just looking around. He enjoys looking at the lights out the window and staring at people's faces while they talk to him. It's almost like he's trying to remember what everyone looks like and put faces to voices, since he would be hearing voices in utero, but he can't see us, obviously. Through the night, he was waking every 3 to 4 hours in the beginning, and then it changed to every 1.5 to 3 hours at about 5 days old. And I think he might have been going through a bit of a growth spurt, or he was just trying to help me increase milk supply, which is something that babies do. They'll nurse a little and often to up your supply for later on down the road, or in a few days time. His eyes are lightening up a bit. They were the typical dark bluish color at birth, which most, if not all, babies are when they are first born. But now they're a bit of a lighter blue, which is kind of strange because me and Jeremy and Max actually have like hazel eyes. Mine are kind of brownish green hazel, and Jeremy and Max have like the bluish green hazel eyes. But Wyatt so far are turning like actually blue, which both mine and Jeremy's mom have light blue eyes. So it'd be kind of cool if he did end up with blue eyes, but it's of course way too early to tell. He is still wearing newborn size clothes and diapers. He is starting to fit in some 0 to 3 month clothes. Wyatt was nursing fantastic for the first few days. I did have to convince him to open wider at first to get a better latch because he was giving me blisters that would bleed, and then I know it's perfectly safe for newborns to ingest some blood if you do have bleeding or cracked nipples, but I just felt really bad, and I was using the lanolin cream and it just wasn't helping because he was like pinching me kind of. He did get the hang of that after a few days, which was great. So breastfeeding was comfortable for both of us. It was going fantastic. The only time he really had trouble is if he was getting himself really worked up, and he'd either have his hands in the way, because when he gets worked up, he gets his hands like in his mouth and all over the place. And then he was keeping himself from latching on, and I can't hold down both of his arms and guide him at the same time. So that was a little bit of a struggle. Or he'd start shaking his head back and forth really frantically and almost teasing himself. So he'd like latch on and then start shaking his head like a savage. But other than that, breastfeeding was going really great. We have since had to stop nursing when he was 1 week old. So on Tuesday, which I did talk more about in my last video, in my postpartum video, so you can definitely go watch that if you want more details on why I can't breastfeed right now. And I will go into more detail about how formula feeding is going in next week's update, since he was technically over a week old by the time we actually started formula feeding. So this is what Mr. Wyatt looks like. He is starving Marvin, but he is eating too small of quantities, the doctor said today, so we're trying to prolong feedings, which he doesn't like very much, but we're just doing it in like 10-minute increments right now. And he's a naked baby because it's so hot today. It's over 30 degrees here, but you can definitely follow me on Instagram or Snapchat if you want to see more baby pictures. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover in this video. Same as in my last one. If you want me to cover any other like topics that I may have missed, definitely leave them in the comments below, as well as any questions you may have. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.